Hello everybody, I'm Ms. Schaffer and I'm an ELA teacher at North Webster Junior High. Today I'm going to teach you how to write a friendly letter. Before we write the friendly letter, we have to know what a friendly letter is. A friendly letter is a letter that's written to someone that you have a relationship with, like a friend or a family member. It can be written to check in, to inform them of recent events, or just to keep in touch. There are 5 parts to a friendly letter, so we're going to start by going over the format of a friendly letter. So as you can see in this document, there are 5 parts of a friendly letter. The first part is the heading. The heading can include the writer's address. That part is optional, but it must always include the date. Also, the heading should be written at the top of the page on the right-hand side. The second part of a friendly letter is the greeting. This is going to say, Dear John, or Dear Jim, or Dear Susan, whatever you call the person that you're writing to. On this document, we have Dear Blank, and the blank represents the name of the person that you're writing your friendly letter to. Next, you're going to always insert a comma after the person's name in the greeting. The third part of your friendly letter is the body. There are 3 things that we want to remember about the body of your letter. First of all, it should be indented. Each paragraph should be indented. On this document, it says make what is called a parking space. That just means a space. Just leave a space for an indentation from the left side of the page on the first line of each paragraph. Also, in the body, include details that would be interesting to the person you're writing to. And third, you may want to ask questions. That will give the person that you're writing to a reason to write back. The fourth part of a friendly letter is the closing. There are 3 items under the closing as well. The closing should be written on the right side of the page in line with the heading. Make sure your closing is appropriate for who you write your letter to. Some examples of closings that you can use are love, love always, yours truly, sincerely, your friend, and so on. The 5th and final part of a friendly letter is the signature, and this is where you're going to write your name immediately below the closing. If you can write in cursive, your signature should be written in cursive. However, if you can't, print will be fine. The next document that you're going to see is a template of how your friendly letter should be laid out. So you can see that the spaces for the heading and then down below the closing and the signature represent that they all begin on the right side of the page. The greeting and the body, however, begin on the left-hand side of the page. You can also see where there was a space left to indent the paragraph of the body. Now I would like for you to choose a topic to write a letter about. The directions on this handout say, choose one of the following topics. Write a friendly letter following the guidelines and template that we have discussed today. If you would like, mail your letter, and hopefully in a few days you will get a reply, and you will have started a fun letter exchange with a friend or a family member. Instructions for addressing envelopes and mailing will follow at the end of the video. Now we have the 3 topics for you to choose from for writing your letter. Number 1, write a letter to a friend that you miss. It can be someone nearby or someone who lives far away. Tell them what you've been doing recently and ask them what they've been doing. Your second choice is to write a letter to your mom for Mother's Day. Tell her why she is special to you and ask her to write back. And your third choice is to write a letter to a family member that you haven't seen for a while. Tell them some things you remember from your last time together and ask when you might get to see each other again. Take a few minutes to write the letter, pause the video, and then we'll move on. Okay, now that you've written your letter, you want to use this friendly letter checklist to make sure that you've included all of the parts that you're supposed to include. There are 5 parts that you need to check for. You need to make sure that you have your heading and that there is a comma between the day and the year in the date. You also need to make sure that you have your greeting, that your greeting is capitalized, and that there is a comma after the name. Third, you should have a body. In the body, the paragraphs are indented, sentences capitalized, and you have punctuation at the end of each sentence. The next part you're checking for is the closing. In the closing, the first word is capitalized and there's a comma at the end. And the last thing you're going to check for is your signature. Remember to write in cursive if you can, but if you can't, you may write in print. The next thing you're going to check for is to make sure that your message has a friendly tone. Also, make sure spelling has been checked and make sure that your letter is written neatly. If you are going to mail your letter, you're going to refer to this screen if you need help with getting your envelope ready. For help with addressing an envelope and adding a stamp, refer to the following short video on YouTube. You're going to look for a video entitled How to Address an Envelope by Howcast, and it's only about a minute long. When you search, this should be the first item to come up in the list. So now you know how to write a friendly letter. So I hope you'll take this activity and have fun with it, write some friends, stay in touch with some people that maybe you haven't been able to stay in touch with so far. For more activities for home learning, visit our resource portal on websterparishschoolboard.org.